Without Chief Keef, hip-hop definitely wouldn't be the same. He put drill music on the map and changed the whole game as a teenager. And now, he's one of the most influential rappers alive. This is the crazy story of Chief Keef, the O Block legend. Keef came up in Parkway Gardens, aka O Block. His mom had him when she was only 15, and he ended up living with his grandma later on. His dad wasn't around either, so Keef had to grow up quick and adapt to his environment. Keef was always around gang activity, but he had an interest in music at an early age. He's so complex, when I was living with my mama, we used to have this karaoke machine. We was little ass kids, about 05, 04. We used to freestyle. I used to be so cold, even when I was a little shorty. I used to freestyle raw as hell. See, now my brain is up from smoking so much loud, but I was raw. We had little blank tapes, put them in there, record, got the little mic, the beat playing, weak ass beats and shit. Cold as hell. Keef started laying down real tracks around 2008 when he linked up with DJ Ken, but it took him a few years before he started buzzing in the city. In 2011, he dropped 2 mixtapes called The Glory Road and Bang, which started getting play in Chicago. But Keef still had a foot in the streets, and in 2011, he almost got killed by the cops after he allegedly pointed a gun at them. In December 2011, Keef walked out of his grandma's crib holding a coat over his hands. When the cops saw him and questioned him about it, Keef dropped the coat and flashed a gun before running off. The cops chased after him and started dumping shots, but luckily they missed and Keef was booked without taking any bullets. He got hit with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm on a police officer and aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. The charges could have carried heavy time, but Keef got off easy and was sentenced to house arrest instead of prison. While he was locked down in his grandma's crib, Keef kept grinding and was dropping videos on his YouTube channel. At this point, he already had a following in Chicago, but then Kanye came in and changed everything. Keef's track I Don't Like was buzzing in the city, and the club promoter said it was perfect for Chicago because just hate everything out here. When Kanye remixed the track with Pusha T, Jadakiss, and Big Sean, Chief Keef became one of the hottest rappers in the game overnight. Basically every label in the industry was trying to sign him, but Keef ended up signing a $6 million deal with Interscope, and they also gave him his own imprint, Glory Boys Entertainment. But even after signing a 7-figure deal, Keef was still in the trenches. And in September 2012, the Chicago PD announced that he was being investigated in the death of a Chicago rapper named Lil Jojo. Jojo was a drill rapper who shocked the city with the track 300K BDK, where he dissed the Black Disciples and called out Lil Durk by name. A few months after he dropped the track, Jojo slid into his ops hood and ended up getting killed. He tweeted out his location to prove he wasn't afraid of no smoke, but unfortunately, he ended up getting shot to death just an hour later. The day after he died, Keef tweeted, "It's sad, cause that nigga Jojo wanted to be just like us. Hashtag laugh my ass off." Keef said his account got hacked and he didn't write the tweets about Jojo, but Jojo's mom thinks Keef had him killed. She said, "I don't believe he himself pulled the trigger. I believe he paid somebody to do it." Keef never got hit with any charges, and no one was ever arrested for the shooting. But a year after it went down, a dude named Swag De Niro claimed that whoever killed Jojo was already dead. He tweeted, "You fans can get sent off by this rap if y'all want to. On phone now. Y'all don't know how this go for real. Hashtag no talking. Even the ops know the motherfucker who took my bro ain't walking this earth no more. F him too." Sosa made it out of the Jojo situation without any legal issues, but in 2013, he got sentenced to 2 months in juvie over a probation violation. Then, a couple months after he got out, he was arrested in Georgia for allegedly smoking weed in public. They released him the same day, but about a week later, he got booked again in Chicago for driving 110 in a 55. In January 2013, Keef's stepbrother, Ulysses Gissendanner, was shot and killed. Ulysses was in college, but wanted to be a rapper like Keef. Sosa's dad said that even though they don't talk, he was worried about him, and "I do want my son to have success and have a long, positive life, and I hope the best for him." Keef was still dropping music and collabing with huge artists like Kanye, but in October 2013, he went to jail over another probation violation for smoking weed. Keef got out later that month on good behavior, but in November, he went right back after violating probation again. Keef's mixtapes Bang Part 2 and Almighty Sosa got dragged by critics, and he blamed drugs for the dip in quality. He said, "My last 2 mixtapes were mistakes. I was on promethazine, all drugged out. I was tweaking. I don't sip the lean no more though." He went to rehab to get over his drug issues, but in March 2014, he was arrested for driving high. 2014 was a tough year for Sosa. A month after his DUI, his cousin Blood Money got shot and killed. Blood Money had just signed a deal with Interscope 2 weeks before he died, and his death had a major impact on Keef. Sosa told Billboard, "When that happened, That was the biggest lesson. It told me, you gotta grow up. Then, in June 2014, Keef got evicted from his crib in Highland Park. Court documents showed that he was $30,000 behind on rent, and one of his neighbors said, "It's been horrible. They were certainly not good tenants." But getting kicked out of his house turned out to be great for Keef. He moved to LA, and in 2015, he told Billboard, "It's better out here than in Chicago because I got in so much trouble. I like living out here. I think it improved me. It changed me and inspired me to go somewhere bigger." Interscope ended up dropping Keef from the label in October 2014. There was rumors earlier in the year that people at Interscope wasn't cool with all of Keef's legal drama. Sources told All Hip Hop that Sosa and his team tried to fix the situation after he moved to LA, but Interscope wasn't feeling it and released him from his contract. Keef didn't let the label situation stop his grind though. He dropped 3 more mixtapes before the end of the year, including a collab tape with Gucci Mane. In 2015, Sosa kept pushing and dropped 8 new mixtapes, but in June, he suffered another loss when his homie Capo was killed in a drive-by in Chicago. The driver also ran into a stroller and tragically killed a 13-month-old named Dylan Harris. Keef announced a free benefit concert for Capo and asked fans to donate to Dylan's family. He also started the Stop the Violence Now Foundation to fight crime in Chicago. Keef still had warrants out in Chicago, so he used a hologram to perform the show. The mayor of Chicago tried to get the concert canceled, so it ended up going down to Hammond, Indiana instead. Keef's hologram was recorded in LA, and he told the crowd,
"Stop the violence, stop the killing, stop the nonsense, let the kids grow up."
But later, the mayor of Hammond had the police shut down the generators for Sosa's hologram. The mayor said, "I know nothing about Chief Keef. All I'd heard was he has a lot of songs about gangs and shooting people." After a wild 2015, where he dropped 8 new projects, Keef tweeted in March 2016 that he was retiring. He hopped on MGK's track Young Man later in the year and dropped a collab tape with Zaytoven. But fans thought he was serious about putting down the mic. Then on New Year's Day 2017, he came back and dropped a new solo tape. He followed that up with 3 more projects to build up hype for his 3rd album, which dropped in December. Moving to LA was great for Sosa, but it ain't completely keep him out of trouble. In January 2017, he got arrested for allegedly robbing and beating up a producer named Ramsey the Great. Ramsey posted photos of his bruised face on Instagram and wrote, "Now if I was a celebrity, I wouldn't come personally jump a person with your 5 friends and an AK-47. That's just dumb, you're famous. Now I'm taking everything from you. You really just f***ed up, dude. Coming to my house with your phone in your pocket with the location on. Yeah, I'm pressing charges on your ass. You a f***ing low-life motherfucker. Niggas out here trying to do positive shit and you still on some goofy Chicago shit. We'll see you in court." It looked like Keef was facing serious charges, but the case ended up getting dropped due to lack of evidence. Then in 2018, he started beefing with 6ix9ine. It all started because 6ix9ine was hanging out with Cuban Doll, who was dating Sosa's homie, Tato. Tato allegedly abused Cuban Doll, and 6ix9ine leaked a FaceTime call with Tato where Tato told him, Then Trippie Redd, Keef, and Tato dropped a track called I Kill People. 6ix9ine clapped back and posted a video saying,
Chief Keef, Lil Reese, all of them.
Fans knew the situation was more serious than the average rap beef, and in June 2018, someone tried shooting Sosa when he was in New York. Luckily, he didn't get hit, but 6ix9ine trolled him online and said he got shot at because he promotes violence. For a while, no one knew who tried to kill Keef, but later, the news broke that 6ix9ine paid his homie Kuda $20K for the hit. 6ix9ine ended up snitching and telling the police everything, which is how he became known as the biggest rat in hip-hop. Chief Keef made it out of the wild streets of Chicago and has survived some crazy beef. And even though he's lost a lot of homies along the way, he ain't let it slow him down. In June 2022, he started a new label called 43B, or Forget Everybody, and signed Lil Nard. He says, 43B has been a passion project of mine for over a year, and I'm ready to give artists that are changing the game a label where they can really succeed. Keef has had issues with major labels before, so he wants to help new rappers in the game and stop people from taking advantage of them. A lot of rappers make it big and only focus on their own career, but now Sosa is leveling up and helping out the new generation too. Chicago drill was the biggest rap movement of the last decade. Unfortunately, a lot of the dudes who kicked it off either got killed or locked up before they could see where it went. But luckily, Chief Keef survived all the violence and is still making moves in the industry.